I still remember the night everything almost broke me. The night I stood outside that tiny diner, my hands shaking, my uniform stained with coffee, and my heart carrying more weight than I thought it could handle. I was just a waitress. That's what everyone saw. Not the girl who crossed oceans with hope in her chest, not the girl who believed in second chances, just Millie, the girl who takes orders. Table 5 needs their check, my manager snapped that night, not even looking at me. I nodded silently, because that's what I had learned to do. Stay quiet, work harder, dream later. But what I didn't know that day was that someone I trusted the most was already planning to take everything from me. My name is Millie. I came to America with nothing but a suitcase and a promise to myself that I would build a life worth remembering. My parents had sold their small shop just to send me here. "Make us proud," my mother had whispered, her voice trembling. And I tried. Every single day, I worked double shifts, smiled through exhaustion, and saved every dollar like it was gold. I believed that if I just kept going, something good would happen. And then I met Daniel. He wasn't rich, he wasn't powerful, but he had something I needed: belief. "You're not meant to stay here forever," he told me one evening as we sat in that diner after closing. I laughed softly. "Then where am I meant to go?" "Higher," he said, smiling. "Much higher." For the first time, someone saw me, not as a waitress, but as someone with potential. And slowly he became my safe place. We started dreaming together about opening a small cafe, about building something of our own, about a future that didn't smell like burnt coffee and tired nights. I trusted him completely. I shared everything, my savings, my plans, my fears, because when you're alone in a new country, trust feels like home. But trust can also become your biggest mistake. One night, Daniel came to me with excitement in his eyes. "I found something," he said. "A business opportunity, a small cafe for sale. This is our chance. Our chance." Those words echoed in my heart. "This could change everything for us," he continued. "But we need money, quickly." I hesitated. Every dollar I had saved was everything to me. But then he held my hand and said softly, "Don't you trust me?" And I did. That was the moment everything began to change. I gave him everything. Every dollar I had saved over years of sleepless nights and aching feet, I handed it to him with trembling hands and hopeful eyes. "This is our future," I whispered. Daniel smiled. But now, when I look back, I realize something. That smile wasn't love. It was something else, something I was too blind to see. Days passed, then weeks, and suddenly Daniel became distant. At first, I told myself he was just busy. "He's working on the cafe," I reassured myself. But the calls became shorter. The messages became colder. Until one day, they stopped completely. I stood outside his apartment, knocking again and again. No answer. My heart started racing. Something wasn't right. And then I saw it. A note slipped under the door. My hands shook as I picked it up. "Millie, I'm sorry. This isn't going to work. I had to do what's best for me." That was it. No explanation, no goodbye. Just gone. And in that moment, everything inside me shattered. I slid down against the door, tears streaming down my face. Not just because I lost money, but because I lost trust. I lost belief. I lost the person I thought was my future. For days, I couldn't function. I went to work like a ghost, smiling when I had to, breaking when no one was looking. "You okay?" my coworker asked once. I forced a smile. Yeah, just tired. But inside, I was completely broken. Until one night, something changed. I was wiping down a table when I overheard two customers talking. Did you hear about that new cafe downtown? It's doing really well. Yeah, the owner just opened it last month. My heart skipped. Something about that felt familiar. Do you know the name? The other asked. Daniel, I think. Everything inside me froze. Daniel. My Daniel. No, not mine anymore, but the man who had taken everything from me. In that moment, the pain turned into something else, something stronger. Clarity. He didn't just leave me, he used me. And suddenly, I wasn't just heartbroken, I was awake. I went home that night and looked at myself in the mirror. My eyes were tired, my face empty. That deep inside, a small spark had returned. No more, I whispered. No more tears. No more silence. No more being the girl who gets left behind. That night, I made a decision. If he could build something with what he stole from me, then I could build something better, on my own. And this time, I wouldn't trust blindly. I would rise, stronger. The next morning, I didn't cry. I didn't beg. I didn't chase. Instead, I started again, from zero. But this time, I had something I didn't have before. Awareness, strength, and a quiet fire inside me that refused to go out. I worked harder than ever. Double shifts turned into triple. I studied business at night, watched videos, learned everything I could. Not for revenge, but for myself. Months passed, then a year, and slowly my life began to change. I saved again, but smarter this time. I planned, I prepared, and then, one day, I opened my own cafe. Small, simple, but mine. Every corner carried my story. Every table held my struggle. And every cup of coffee felt like a victory. People started coming, then returning, then bringing others. My cafe wasn't just a place. It was an experience. Because I understood something Daniel never did. People don't just come for coffee. They come for connection. And I gave them that. Within 2 years, my small cafe turned into a growing brand. And then, the moment came. The moment I never expected, but was ready for. One afternoon, I saw him, Daniel, standing at the entrance of my cafe. Older, quieter, different. Our eyes met. For a second, time froze. He walked toward me slowly. I didn't know this was yours, he said softly. I looked at him calmly. And I didn't know betrayal could build something this strong, I replied. He looked down. I made a mistake, he said. I paused, because once upon a time, those words would have broken me again, but not anymore. You didn't make a mistake, I said gently. You made a choice. Silence filled the space between us. And then I smiled. Not out of love, not out of pain, but out of peace. Thank you, I added. He looked confused. For what? He asked. For showing me who I needed to become. He had no words. And for the first time, I didn't need any. He walked away. And I didn't stop him. Because some people are not meant to stay in your life. They're meant to teach you how strong you really are. That night, I stood in my cafe after closing, the same way I used to stand in that old diner. But everything was different. I wasn't the girl who was struggling anymore. I was the woman who rebuilt herself. And as I turned off the lights, I whispered softly to myself, "You made it." Not because someone believed in me, but because I finally believed in myself. Thank you for listening to my story. If you've ever been betrayed by those closest to you, know that you are stronger than the pain. Drop a comment below. I read every single one. And remember, keep blooming. If you like my story, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it.